program. I'm Ramona's first evil ex-boyfriend.
Wait, we're fighting over Ramona?
Didn't you get my email explaining the situation?
I skimmed it.
In the new movie Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, a young man in a rock band must engage in mortal combat with his girlfriend's ex-boyfriends. The film is based on the graphic novels by Brian Lee O'Malley. Michael Cera stars as Scott Pilgrim. Because the actors had to learn how to fight and how to play instruments, director Edgar Wright enrolled the cast in a sort of boot camp to get them into character.
We all have baggage. No, my baggage doesn't try and kill me every 5 minutes.
It was super intense. The overall body conditioning stuff we had to do was hard. I mean, wake up every day, go do it as a complete cast with Edgar Wright coming with us and doing medicine ball throws, push-up ladders, leapfrog type stuff. That was all very rigorous. But then after lunch, we would all break off with our own kind of private instructor, depending on which evil ex we were and what our specialty had to be. 3 of the fights were physical, and then there's the bass battle, and the one where Mary and Mae Whitman are fighting, and then the musical, the Battle of the Bands at the end too. But I mean, it was really intense. Even just going in and conditioning. I mean, the fights I felt like were in someone else's hands. I felt like it was totally someone else's job to worry about, because there were this stunt team that was their only job to think about. And then us, though, just being able to even do those things was really challenging.
We basically had a boot camp for 8 weeks of music and kind of action, because some people had to learn instruments, other people had to learn their fight scenes, and we basically just surrounded them with the best professionals. And for 8 weeks before we started shooting, I would train with them in the morning to show solidarity and to make sure they didn't skip any sessions. And it was a really good bonding thing, but the way that actors who haven't done fight scenes before, you kind of end up learning them like a dance. Our stunt team are all from Jackie Chan's kind of fight school, and you kind of learn it like a dance. So you sort of one shot's here, 1, 2, 3, next shot's here, 4, 5, 6. You learn it in little chunks. Michael Cera never had to do a whole 2 minutes uninterrupted fighting.
You want to fight me for her?
Why on earth
would you want to do that?
Because I'm in love with her.
In the film, Scott Pilgrim is plagued by his every move being instantly texted, meaning that his privacy is a rare commodity. The cast talked about the pros and cons of digital exposure.
I think it's awesome if you're a young band and you make a song, it's really cheap to get it out to millions of people. Yeah. That's great. In the old days, you had to spend all this money to print up a CD or something. On the flip side, now there's no divide between personal and private. You have no excuse not to write an email back to someone at 11 o'clock at night, when before that would have been, that's the time you're with your family or whatever. Now everyone can do everything all the time, so that's kind of a shame.
It's a balance, I guess, you have to find, because certainly the sharing of information is a positive thing, I think, for the world and for society. You also need some time for yourself, too, and some people don't give them enough time to just have their own time to sit and reflect.
For me, the convenience of the internet and Facebook and all that, I partake in all of it. And, on the one hand, I love it because it makes everything so much easier and quicker and more convenient. But on the other hand, it's there's definite negative side to it. It can be really frustrating and especially seeing kids who are kind of a few years younger than me who literally cannot put their cell phones down and cannot stop doing it. That is a bit, worrisome to me.
Wait. You and her?
It was just a phase.
Just a phase?
You had a sexy phase?
It meant nothing. I didn't think it would count.
It meant nothing?
I was just a little bi-curious.
Well, honey, I'm a little bi-furious!